short but fishy story. It's about one particular ration that the war generation considered to be the most unpopular and most disliked food of the Second World War. It was called tin snook, or as the British would merely call it, snook. As rationing became ever stricter, sources of protein became increasingly rare. Beef, pork and mutton were all rationed to less than 6 ounces per person per week, and chicken had yet to become readily available. Fish was in short supply because commercial fishing had become extremely dangerous, with fishermen under constant threat of attack, even when close to shore. Even though fish and chicken were never rationed during the war, they became so scarce that their price put them far beyond the budgets of virtually every household. So the government, seeking an alternative supply of protein, believed they'd found the solution in the plentiful supply of a fish from South Africa called snook. 11 million tins of snook was immediately ordered and shipped to Britain. However, the product that arrived was not to the British taste. Described as being edible but smelly and foul-tasting, the tinned snook remained firmly on shops' shelves, even at the height of rationing. Rumours circulated about the contents of these tins of snook. One theory was that it was whale meat. Others believed it to be barracuda, probably because the fish that South Africans call snook is known as barracuda in Australia and New Zealand. Indeed, throughout the extended period of rationing, which lasted until 1954, there was never any official explanation as to exactly what was contained within these tins of snook. The word snook is the Dutch name for a freshwater pike found in Europe. When Dutch colonists arrived in the Cape in 1652, they found a plentiful supply of a saltwater fish that reminded them of the European freshwater pike. So they called them snook. This fish, which lives in the warmer coastal waters of the southern oceans, is in fact a long, thin species of snake mackerel with a strong mouth and large, sharp teeth. Living in shoals, these fish grow rapidly, up to 6 foot long, on a predatory diet of mostly crustaceans and anchovies. Their diet gives them a very strong taste, which was never to the liking of the British, who as a rule have never been accustomed to eating flesh from predatory animals, including fish. With millions of tins remaining in stock, the matter was raised in the House of Commons on the 1st of December 1947. John Boyd Carpenter, the Conservative Member of Parliament for Kingston-upon-Thames, asked John Strachey, the Minister of Food,
"How much tin snook has been purchased by your department? What was the price paid? And are you satisfied that this purchase serves any useful purpose?"
Strachey replied that a further 2,400 tons of canned snook had recently been purchased from South Africa, and that the government had planned to purchase a further 1,450 tons. Refusing to say what price had been paid, he claimed its useful purpose was as fish to eat. Boyd Carpenter then claimed that the director of the South African government's Fisheries Department had publicly stated that this fish was inedible. The minister refuted the suggestion, after which Dick Mitchelson, the Labour MP for Kettering, asked,
"Is the minister aware that large quantities of this food remain unsold in the shops?"
Following this in February, the Ministry of Food undertook tests of the tin snook being held by the government. Their report accepted that the appearance of the fish was unattractive. The flesh was dark in colour and broke up into several pieces as it was turned out of the can. The skin was also very dark and unattractive, and the brine in which it was contained certainly did not add to its appeal. When tasted, the snook was found to be very firm and needed considerable chewing. The report concluded that the flavour was far too salty to ever be considered as enjoyable. Consequently, the government, in an attempt to mask the taste, produced snook recipes that included cheese, tomato and curry. However, as these items were still rationed, there was a limit as to the extent to which snook could be made palatable, leaving the government needing to find a way out of their stockpile. As it happened, during the period of rationing, a wartime order issued by the Ministry of Food had forbade the use of any foodstuffs suitable for human consumption being used for animal feed, especially for pets. Many ingredients which had previously formed part of the customary diet of pets had therefore become unavailable. Horse meat, when obtainable, remained one source of pet food. Fish was too expensive for this purpose, and offal was only available for human consumption. The diet for wartime pets was even more restrictive than that of their owners. Then in 1954, with the end of food rationing in the United Kingdom, many food producers who had spent the previous years in the creation of unworthy and inferior food products for the home population sought new ways of keeping their production lines busy. One option was the making of pet food, and with the government seeking to unload tons of unwanted tinned snook, here was an ingredient that they could acquire cheaply.
Fish ahoy! Ahoy, tuna tot! Ahoy, salmon too! What a catch! Fish ahoy, fish-flavored cat dinner.
Although a cat's preferred diet is lean meat, by the mid-1950s, tins of fish-based cat food became available to British consumers, and through advertising and promotions, consumers were led to believe that, amongst others, a cat's preferred dish was fish.